I'm the Homelander, and I can do whatever I want. I'm here to save you. Your life is in grave danger.
Danger? Why am I in danger?
Because you're beating in last war survival. Getting stronger. I need to kill all these little red men, and there's more of me to do it. Shooting the tires out, scoring points. And he took me out with one punch.
Now, love him or hate him, but Anthony Starr, the actor who plays Homelander in TV show The Boys, and for a brief cameo in Gen V.
What kind of animal are you?
What?
Which I repurposed into a meme on my Discord server. I think it is safe to say that Homelander at the minute is one of the most recognizable, iconic characters in TV, and every little boy on the internet is basically gravitating towards him and making him their personality. Now, the problem is with Anthony Starr, what does he do in between The Boys? Because as you know, Anthony Starr, he wasn't really known for any roles before The Boys. And when I mean wasn't known, I don't mean that he didn't act or do anything. By the way, he had plenty of roles, but none of these roles gained him the huge dominance in the market that he has now as playing Homelander. Quick announcement as well, I'm going to be selling exclusive merch at PAX Melbourne the 11th of October. That's going to be between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. We're selling Darkwood merch, and we've also got some exclusive posters. I feel that Homelander is Gen Z's Patrick Bateman, despite the fact that American Psycho did come out in the year 2000, which still qualifies as being Gen Z, but whatever. But genuinely, at the minute, I don't think there is a single character in Western media that is more recognizable, more iconic, and hasn't been memed on more. Remember such hilarious clips like Homelander checking his phone and then laughing, which they shamelessly stole from Breaking Bad. But yeah, my point is for Anthony, in between filming seasons of The Boys and probably having a little cameo appearance in Gen V, what is bro doing? Like, how is he getting any kind of income in the meantime? Now, this is where it gets funny, because a lot of actors will tend to do some side work, right? You know, maybe some appearances in a TV show. You could be someone like Chris Evans, someone that is so hot at the minute for Hollywood to get their hands on, that he can have like a 2-minute cameo in the new Deadpool Wolverine film and probably be paid in excess of $30 million. So Anthony has taken it upon himself to star in various mobile game ads, because as we know, any YouTuber that you watch, whether you love them or you hate them, chances are they've done some kind of ad read for a mobile game, whether that's Raid Shadow Legends or I mean that's it. That's the only one I can think of. And the reason why YouTubers do this is, first of all, we have no moral code whatsoever. We'll take any money we can get because we're absolutely desperate and complete parasites. And secondly, it's very easy money, and they do tend to overpay. So Anthony Starr, or as I'm probably going to call him for the rest of the video, Homelander, has taken it upon himself to star in various mobile game ads, like for example Last War Survival, and yes, he is referenced to Homelander from The Boys. And before you wonder, no, this isn't Jeremy Fragrance on meth or some kind of stand-in or body double. This is actually Anthony Starr, who was paid probably an insane amount of money to be in these adverts.
You're Anthony Starr. You're like a superhero.
I'm here to save you. Is this your high score?
Oh, yeah. But why am I in danger?
Because you're beating me in last war survival.
And the thing is with these mobile games, a lot of celebrities sign themselves up to have little cameos. Like, for example, Clash of Clans has had loads and loads of famous actors over the years.
Pasta. Jinx.
And I don't really blame the celebrities for this, because their only obligation is probably to turn up for a day of filming, and then they get like $5 to $10 million in the bag for just doing nothing, essentially. It is really a free money printer. And then obviously the mobile game in question hopes that by having le popular character in their ad, it gets all the kids to download it. Honestly, I don't really understand mobile games, and I probably never will. I'll reinstall Clash of Clans every 3 years or so, spend $100 on it buying gems, and then just get bored and quit. But even though I don't like it because there's no slow burn, all in the head horror games with PS1 graphics, mobile games are by far the most popular gaming market, beating out console. I mean, of course it's beating out console. There's nothing to play. And PC as well. Oh, wait, no, guys. Someone in the comments is going to bring up that Starfield just had DLC. Oh, God. Oh, no, I kneel. I'm really sorry. So Last War, by the look of it, is another mobile game that promotes itself to be something completely different from what it is. When you look at the footage of the game versus the footage used in the advertisements that Homelander appears in, you can clearly tell that the game is not actually what it's selling itself to be. And a lot of mobile games do this. They'll have footage or gameplay that just isn't in the game at all because that would actually be interesting. I'm sure you've seen this before and it's happened to a lot of people. If you don't have YouTube Premium, you have to watch ads. And chances are you've seen an advertisement of some guy, you know, running across like a concourse or a conveyor belt, picking up things or like shooting enemies or running through really obvious hoops to get upgrades, which like even a 5-year-old could do it. And that actually looks really interesting. And you think, oh, wow, okay, that looks kind of fun. Maybe I could install that and play it while waiting for the next critical video talking about the P. Diddy situation. So you install it, you play it, and then you go on the homepage and you realize, oh, wait, it's just one of those games where you need to spend money to upgrade stuff, which takes 7 years unless I pay $5.99 of my own hard-earned cash. I'm really not sure what's worse here. The fact that this gameplay footage is actually being sold as the game, or the fact that Anthony Starr is giving commentary over his gameplay.
Now I'm gonna multiply into a whole gang of blue guys.
And one thing you might have noticed, like, I know I keep switching between calling him Homelander and Anthony Starr, and I'm gonna keep calling him Homelander for the majority of the video. He's playing himself, right? He's Anthony Starr. He's got his natural brown hair. He doesn't have the blonde Homelander hair, but he's still putting on his Homelander voice because Anthony Starr isn't American. He's Kiwi. He's from New Zealand. He does not sound like Homelander at all. They've obviously asked him, okay, Anthony Starr, can you just sound like Homelander? Can you do the funny Homelander American accent? Because that'll probably sell us more units. And the thing is about Homelander's commentary, I'm really sorry about this, man, but it's bad.
Okay, here we go. Last war. All right, I'm multiplying, which is great because I need to kill all these little red men, and there's more of me to do it. Shooting the tires out, killing more, scoring points. Yeah, oh! And now there's a lot more of me, which is better to shoot all these tires. It's great.
This isn't even like PewDiePie 2015 playing Aone. By the way, does anyone remember PewDiePie playing Aone? If you're like a new gen, you wouldn't get it. But oh my God, that is like, that lives rent-free in my head as a prime example. In old YouTube, you could get away with anything. This is like a really old PewDiePie video I pulled up. You can tell it's so dated because there's still on-screen annotations. They don't exist anymore. They haven't for like 5 years. He's got the little annotations there. You got a little face cam up there. Like and fave if you WTF'd XD. Holy Tumblr.
Ay, caramba. Hide in the closet.
It's time.
How did you get away with that? Legit. How did they get away with that in old YouTube? I don't understand it, man. This video came out 12 years ago. 12 years ago. Oh, how did they get away with that, bro? Oh my God, YouTube. Okay, I was gonna have the whole debate about like how sterilized YouTube is now. I mean, okay, maybe it's a good thing we can't go around making rape jokes. Maybe. Oh, you could legit say anything back then though, man. Also, I want to give a shout out to this video as well because this reminded me that YouTube had these little ads that appeared on screen that you could easily close instead of like unskippable ads. Take me back. It was so much easier back then. Take me back. So the game was created by a company called First Fun. Now you will notice this a lot about these mobile games. They kind of have these like company names that, you know, created them. They almost sound like throwaways. Like if they were to be investigated, they could easily pack up their bags and disappear to China. They also, of course, make their own gacha games for chronic gambling addicts that like to lie to themselves saying, it's not gambling, bro, it's gacha. They made Heroes of Mythic Night, but they seem to prioritize The Last War. If you go onto their website, it's basically the first game that appears. And again, it makes sense. Their most successful game, they have the backing of the one and only Homelander. Looking into their company more, they say that their offices are based in Singapore, which kind of adds up. You'll notice that a lot of these mobile games that are huge, they usually are based in Asia. Now, I get it, all right? I'm fully aware of how terrible mobile games are, especially the ads you see on YouTube. They're basically borderline deceptive. There's even an entire subreddit called Shitty Mobile Game Ads that is basically hell-bent on finding any bad advertisements that you see and then posting them on the subreddit. So I literally just went onto the mobile game ads subreddit. This is the top post of this week, by the way. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. I can't play it because it's copyrighted music. I can't play the music. But yep, you've got a white woman on an island surrounded by black men. Okay. And they are trying to separate the black men from the white woman. That's mission accomplished. Okay, very normal behavior here. Very normal Chinese mobile game ad here. So he's got one cut. He goes up. Oh, and the black man beat up and ate the white woman. Okay, that's a very normal advertisement there. Very normal. I would download that game, definitely. This actually reminds me of an apology that McDonald's had to put out back in 2020 because for a brief period of time, I think they banned black people from entering a particular McDonald's in China. Now, a lot of mobile game advertisements straight up lie. They lie. You know, like I know commentary channels, for example, we extend the truth a little bit. We'll say the situation is crazy when it's kind of just mildly interesting at best. But mobile game advertisements, they just lie. They show gameplay or events that do not occur in the game. And for some reason, no one seems to have clamped down on them or really care. Mostly because platforms like Facebook and YouTube, I'm pulling these numbers out my ass, by the way, with no proof whatsoever. But I would genuinely believe that they probably take up well over 50% of all the advertisements spent online because these like trashy companies come out of nowhere. They've got huge investment funds worth like tens or hundreds of millions of dollars. And it's one of those where it's like, don't ask, don't tell. You won't lose the money if you look the other way. And again, it's weird because like, you know, TV, normal TV, they've got like Ofcom, they've got regulators. YouTubers now have to self-review their own videos and then they actually have a manual reviewer come in as well and watch probably 10 seconds of the video. So there is some kind of involvement there. But mobile advertisements, they just seem to have escaped all of this, something that we've been dealing with for the best part of 10 years now. Now, I do have to give credit to the advertisers, like the marketing team behind these mobile games, because they are like stage 5 degenerates because they come up with the most degen ideas to get your attention because they crave it. Because if they get your attention, there's a higher chance you might install the game. A good example is My Horse Prince, which, by the way, the entire premise of the game is taking after a horse who has a man's head and is apparently a prince.
What's going on? He talks! I haven't seen you around before. Nay.
White women be crazy. And like I said, because this is such a black hole, it's not really being looked into at all. Mobile game ads aren't going to go anywhere anytime soon. If anything, you've got more and more celebrities like Anthony Starr taking on these roles for, you know, basically a free bag. A lot of people, including myself, were really thrown off at the fact that Anthony Starr even chose to do this ad in the first place. But again, loads of other actors have done this before. Pedro Pascal, who was in The Mandalorian, and he was cast as Joel Miller in The Last of Us HBO. He did a shill for a mobile game called Merge Mansion last year. Now, Pascal did make a huge cope, basically saying, and I quote, he wanted to explore more platforms as a performer to experiment with. Did he? No. Dude, it's a day of filming and you probably got like 3 mil. Like, come on. Come on. Like, I get it, bro. Just say you want the bag. It's fine. By the way, about Pedro Pascal, I know he was Joel in The Last of Us. He doesn't really look like Joel at all. I think he killed it as the role. Ellie's actress. Anyways, now a lot of people were very quick to point out, Anthony Starr, Mr. Homelander, why are you shilling yourself in mobile game ads that no one above the age of 5 will play, but at the same time, you didn't actually lend your voice to Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1's DLC. If you remember, Mortal Kombat 1 had a DLC where you could play as Homelander and everyone was really hyped, but then people realized, wait, Omni-Man, you can hear Omni-Man's voice. J.K. Simmons being a very famous actor, also doing a lot of voice work. Like, for example, he was that really cruel teacher in Whiplash. There's a really good scene where he asks one of the pupils, were they hawking or were they touring? Which actually predates the Hawk Tour girl.
Were you hawking or were you towing?
I don't know.
Start hawking.
Hawk 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
Hawk 2, 3, 4. Hawk 2, 3, 4. Hawk 2, 3, 4.
No. Was I hawking or was I doing? Count again.
Hawk 2, 3, 4. Hawk 2, 3, 4. Hawk 2, 3, 4.
Hawking or doing?
Doing.
So you do know the difference. If you deliberately don't watch the Talk to a podcast, I'll hawk to your entire fucking bloodline, you little shit.
But yeah, Anthony Starr had a Q&A panel, and he kind of did actually give a sassy reply.
Hey, have you seen Call of Duty? I voice Call of Duty. So go play that.
2. If you remember, there was a DLC where you could play as Homelander. Honestly, I don't play Warzone or like Modern Warfare at all apart from the campaign. I'm the opposite of every kid that has a PS5 that just has Warzone and FIFA on it. I play it for the campaign, and then I usually don't touch the multiplayer because there's too many sweats. And also, the game isn't all in my head with PS1 graphics, so it's quite boring for me. But yeah, there was a DLC where you can get Black Noir, Homelander, and what's her name? The one that had the Botox, the woman. Starlight. Yeah, you could play as her as well. But yeah, he didn't address why he wasn't voicing Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1. So you can tell it was a touchy subject for him. And it's weird because he was basically the only actor to not reprise his role in Mortal Kombat. Like I said, J.K. Simmons, he voiced Omni-Man. John Cena, he voiced Peacemaker. People had a lot of game theories. The first one being he probably just wasn't offered enough in the contract and he wasn't happy with it. Or that contract would have crossed over the SAG-AFTRA picket line. If you don't know what the SAG-AFTRA is, it was those strikes that happened with writers back in 2023. SAG-AFTRA meaning Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. But yeah, regardless of what the actual reason is, with no proof, he just didn't take the role. He didn't reprise his role as Homelander in Mortal Kombat 1. So yeah, why did Homelander take this role in a mobile game? Money. Like, I really don't need to milk and pad the video out by going on game theories. It's money. It always has been money. It always will be money. I mean, people even argue that he's been paid a lot of money anyway, because The Boys is one of the most highest budget shows ever made. Season 1 of The Boys having apparently an $11.2 million budget per episode. Now, that isn't as expensive as shows like Game of Thrones, the Lord of the Rings TV show, and surprisingly, even Succession had a larger budget, despite the fact that that isn't like a fantasy or like sci-fi show. And also, you need to keep in mind that a portion of that budget for every episode is always put into the actors' pockets as well. But also, that being said, it's not like half the budget of every episode is going straight to the actors, because those actors then need to use that money for their own gains. You know, they have to pay people under them to get work in the future, like, for example, agents, managers, publicists, attorneys, stylists. When they're paid for an episode, they're basically given a budget that they have to spend on themselves. Again, for people to get where they need to be, they need connections, and money can only get you so far with making those connections. A good example are people that appear in huge blockbuster films, and then you think, wow, that's like the most famous actor ever. Why didn't I see him for the next 10 years, and why did he only appear in like indie projects? That's usually because of a multitude of reasons, like they couldn't get the manager to make the contacts, they were a one-hit wonder, or, I mean, a good example that I like to talk about quite a lot is Edward Norton. Edward Norton is a great actor, and he played the Hulk in, I think, the second Incredible Hulk film, and he did a pretty good job. I mean, I'm just gonna say that. I watched the film when I was like 7 when it came out, and I didn't watch it again, but the point I'm trying to make is he could, like, right now be an Avenger. He could be the Hulk instead of Mark Ruffalo, but he actually chose to step down because he didn't really like the Hollywood scene. He wanted to start in more indie films. Was he in a lot of trash, a lot of schlock? Yes, he definitely was, and he has a lot less money than what he could have got, but for the most part, hopefully, he's more happy now. That's kind of the reason why you get some actors that just completely drop off, because they get that taste of Hollywood, and it's like, this sucks. I'm not going to a Diddy party. I'm going to do my own thing.
Nah, yeah, I'm going to do my own thing.
Now, we don't know Anthony's situation, like who he has on payroll, whether it's like, you know, friends, family, but it's in his best interest to keep getting work to be able to support them. I mean, a good example, right? I'm not an actor. Well, technically, I'm a bit of an actor after my amazing voice work in such games like Hunt Down the Freeman.
The aliens are coming. We've been compromised.
Spit it out, Corporal.
Oh, Colonel. We are so fucked.
But myself, I've got a team of editors that I pay weekly, no matter what. And then on top of that as well, I employ my family, right? I employ my sibling, I employ my parents. And then if something happened, like I didn't do YouTube anymore or I stopped uploading, we would then be in the red because these people would still need to be paid, but there's no output for that. So that's always a valid reason as to why people, you know, still take on work when they're already minted, why you see actors or YouTubers appear in like garbage mobile game ads, or doing sponsors that they just obviously don't care about. But one thing that's also important is he might actually be a member of the SAG-AFTRA union, because he actually did make some tweets in solidarity with that group. And also, to be an actor, to be part of that group, he actually has to pay his dues as well. You know, as in the sense, it's like, oh, I'm going to support you poor people, but I'm still making millions. You know, it's pretty obvious that if he wants to support those members, he's had to make some kind of compromise, some kind of sacrifice himself, which is like, if you think about it, the most anti-Homelander thing imaginable. I mean, there were even cast members of Netflix's original show, Orange is the New Black, and they shared that they were only getting $20 residuals from the show, and only series regulars were actually getting paid $200,000 an episode. And then supporting roles got around $15,000 an episode, which I know sounds like a lot, but it's really not. One thing I've noticed as well, especially in Hollywood, is actors, when they appear in films, big actors, they'll actually take a pay cut. So let's say an actor would get paid $5 million, right, for appearing in a film. What they'll actually try to do a lot, which probably doesn't happen as much anymore because it's very, very successful and it fucks over a lot of the companies. Actors will say, you know what, you're going to pay me $5 million? No. I'll tell you what, I'll be nice. You pay me $1 million and I'll be in the film. But I want like a 2% share in anything it does in the box office, anything it does on streaming, on DVD for the 5 people that still buy DVDs. And what this usually does, it lets actors make like 200 times the profit that they were ever going to make from a flat rate. So that's why companies are like really against it now, because a lot of actors have done this before and it's been really successful. I mean, a really good example of this is Cameron Diaz, who was basically every millennial's wet dream growing up. So she was in a film called Bad Teacher, where she was some like raunchy teacher in a school. She only got paid $1 million, which again sounds like a lot, but in Hollywood and LA, not really. And because the film did so well, her $1 million got turned into over $40 million. And that deal is actually known as like one of the most legendary deals in Hollywood history. I mean, there's another good example as well. Maxwell Atoms, the creator of the American cartoon The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Now, unfortunately, guys, I have to make a concession. I've never watched Billy and Mandy before in my life. Most people do tend to shill like cartoons they grew up on because it reminds them of being a kid and they kind of escape the reality of, oh my God, I'm in my 20s, life sucks. But the creator, Maxwell, actually recently lost his job and had to put on various old Cartoon Network items on eBay to be able to afford to pay his bills. And it really doesn't help as well that HBO, that owns a lot of these old cartoons, keep removing them from their back catalogs. You know, like for example, Regular Show, Steven Universe. I like to imagine the cope is Velma season 3 took up too much server space, so they chose to axe Regular Show and Adventure Time instead. You know what's funny? Velma is on a 1.6. And then Hawk Tour is still like a 9.5. I mean, there's even a SAG-AFTRA strike going on with video game voice actors right now as well. So yeah, it sounds like I've gone on a tangent, but it all makes sense. This explains why a lot of celebrities or people in TV and films or even YouTubers are making so many mobile ad deals. I mean, most of the time, these games suck. You know, they're deceptive. People don't ever install them. You know, I'm very sure I've done mobile ads in the past where it's like, I love this game. It's really good. I play it all day, every day. And it's like, no, I don't. I mean, whenever I do ads personally, I do try to deliver it in a semi-sarcastic way, like kind of like to please the advertisers, but then also to kind of like through the lines communicate to you guys, I really don't care. It does just support the channel. But unfortunately, you're not allowed to say that in an ad read. I mean, there are other people that have done these sponsors as well. Drew Barrymore, Jason Alexander from Seinfeld, Sarah Jessica Parker, who was in Sex and the City. Again, like I'm giving these names like I'm not a woman. I've never watched Sex and the City in my life. And of course, who I mentioned earlier, Pedro Pascal. So basically, Joel Miller from The Last of Us has done a mobile sponsor. There was even all those other garbage apps as well, like Coinmaster, and there were people like Jennifer Lopez and David Schwimmer doing them. And then the Kardashians also did those ads as well, but that's really not surprising. I remember one of the Kardashians had to promote Fire Festival on her Instagram, and I think she got paid $250,000 for it. But yeah, there's obviously a reason why people gravitate towards mobile sponsors. It's easy cash, and in 2022, mobile games made $108 billion. They are absolutely 100% getting that check. And again, as atrocious as they are, me making a video crying about it, everyone's going to forget next week. But obviously that money is not going to leave Anthony Starr's bank account. So in the end, who wins? As always, Homelander. I mean, I do try to take sponsors that I care about, but it's really hard to, I think, at the minute. I mean, the only sponsor I can think of that I actually care about at the minute is AG1, because I take AG1 every day. AG1, if you're watching the video, please sponsor me. Give me a year's supply for free. I should not be paying. I'm a fucking YouTuber. But yeah, like I take that every day. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't own shares in the company. I'm not going to do a Cody Co where I've got like my can of liquid death on every single video obnoxiously because I bought shares in it, guys. But yeah, it's obviously like you're trying to pick sponsors that you care about that apply to you, but it's very hard to. Like, I'll usually just take the money as it comes because, you know, Darkwood came out. I'm very happy with it. The ad revenue generated from that is insane. It doesn't cover anything. It doesn't cover the animation. It doesn't cover editing costs. And I'm fine with that because I've got the Slop channel. You know, I know the subreddit is like rent-free and attacks me all the time saying, oh, the Slop is so lazy now. He used to do ASAR and have high energy and now he just sits down and it's lame and it's daily uploads. What happened to a series of tubes that was every week? And it's like times change, unfortunately. Like, I need to be able to make the income to generate, to put out on the main channel. Like, I was actually going to take it easy for a bit, but like on the main channel now, I'm working on another video that is going to be even bigger than Darkwood. Like, I'm probably going to have a mental breakdown, but I don't care. Like I really just want to keep putting out better and better content and trying to one-up myself. And the Slop channel does help do that. Could I find other sources of income? Sure. I could stop uploading on Slop and I could probably just pull a Leafy and just sit there investing all day looking at a graph. That sounds great. Yeah, I really would enjoy doing that. Slop is Slop at the end of the day, and sponsors, usually YouTubers don't really care. They just want the money. But I can at least put that into the main channel content and make those videos better and better. I think one thing that really irks me about all these ads as well is like, because there's no regulation, because YouTube will just take anyone's money, you've got like these deep fake ads as well. Like there are Mr. Beast deep fake ads. I mean, there's even been games that have taken my face, my reaction, without my consent, by the way, without paying me, and used them in advertisements. I mean, some people have been having schizo theories as well, saying that he's taking these sponsors as a settlement because he did actually get involved in an assault. I think it was last year in Spain where he was arrested and he might have had to pay an enormous settlement fee and that could help cover it. But again, there's no proof of that. It's a schizo theory. But yeah, if you don't care about the mobile game ads, I wouldn't interact with the content. You're still allowed to make fun of it. That's why I've recorded a video for over 50 minutes right now talking about it. But also at the same time, I think people need to understand that he is just human. Oh my God. Oh my God. I sound like a Homelander apologist. Oh God. This is like one of the people that like would spit on Starlight or something. Guys, Homelander isn't a bad guy, okay? Look, he when he lasered that guy, it was on accident, okay? He had a tick in his eye. But yeah, it's really obvious that Anthony is just trying to get a bag in between, you know, playing as Homelander, because once The Boys wraps up, because I think the next season is the last season because they went through a back and forth. It's like, I swear the creator was like, oh, I want 10 seasons. And then he was like, oh, wait, no, one more season. Because I think if we watch the latest season of The Boys, we're definitely starting to realize they're kind of running out of things to milk now. I feel like one season is going to be perfect to wrap it up. You don't need to make a show like 7 or 8 seasons. If anything, that's a major turnoff. Like when I'm looking at something to stream and I see there's like 9 seasons, it's like, nah. No, I think I'm good. I think I'll leave it. But then if it's something that's only like 2 or 3 seasons, like, you know, Breaking Bad, Succession, it's like, ooh, I could watch that. Talking about Succession as well, I find it really funny how that show actually mirrors the Murdoch family right now. So for reference here, right? Sorry, I gotta do like a bit of a Succession tangent because I love the show so much. I'm the eldest boy! I'm the eldest boy! So for reference, the writers of Succession took heavy inspiration from like a lot of media mogul families. Like for example, the Murdochs when they created the show. The Murdoch family, by the way, are behind like Sky News, Fox News in America. And it seems that the season finale of Succession, which I won't spoil, is actually happening with the Murdochs right now, which I just thought, I don't know, kind of a funny tangent. But yeah, what's the moral of today's story? Mobile game ads kind of suck, I think. Unless they pay me. If they pay me, I like them. I like them very much.